The theme for this festival, Towards a Digital Economy, Positioning Africa as a FinTech Innovation Hub, is at the core of economic reforms and transformation needed to propel Africa into sustainable growth. This year's festival, as was last year's actually, is taking place against the backdrop of a global economic crisis, and that crisis is also being seen in Ghana. We've seen inflation, accelerating across the globe. In Ghana, for example, if you look at between end 2019 and today, we've seen about a 5-fold increase in the rate of inflation. Go to next door, Togo, you've seen about a 16-fold increase in the rate of inflation. Côte d'Ivoire has seen about a 7-fold increase in the rate of inflation. And the UK has seen an 8-fold increase in the rate of inflation. And this has also been accompanied by a very strong dollar, which has seen currencies really fall in value. Yesterday, I was being told that the Chinese yuan is at its lowest level since 2007. The new British Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, was basically describing the UK's economic situation as a profound economic crisis. So what we are seeing globally, of course, with the disruption of global supply chains post-COVID, is a major change in what was the status quo before COVID. The global economy as we know it, as it existed pre-COVID, today does not really exist anymore. Emerging market access to the capital markets has been very restricted and may continue to be restricted for the foreseeable future. And more, we are seeing economies rethinking economic strategies, but there is a clear move towards more self-reliance in economic policy. And at the same time, this global economic environment is transitioning into the fourth industrial revolution, where the digital economy is taking center stage. So as we try to deal with the economic crisis globally, economies also have to reposition themselves to partake in the fourth industrial revolution. In Ghana specifically, we're dealing with an economic crisis that we have to address in different dimensions. The first and most important, which affects the confidence that we have in the economic system, is to make sure that we have fiscal and debt sustainability. This has been one of the areas where we are having discussions with and negotiations with the International Monetary Fund about. Restoring fiscal and debt sustainability, no doubt, is not going to be easy. It will require very bold, difficult, but firm decisions. And I think these are part of the discussions that we are having with the IMF, and I'm sure once those are concluded, it will be clear that it will not be and it should not be business as usual, because we have to adjust to the new global and domestic realities. What we are also seeing is that the nature of production needs to change. Why do I say that? You are seeing Ghana consistently over the last 5 years having more and more trade surpluses. But at the same time, and we have had these trade surpluses on our balance of payments, this is like for the first time in about 20 years that we've had consistently about 5 years of trade surpluses on our balance of payments. At the same time, we are having a lot of current account deficits, which means that a lot of the foreign exchange that we are earning from our trade doesn't stay in Ghana. And one of the areas where we have to address this is to reduce the import dependency that we have as a country. There is so much when you look at the broad spectrum, from toothpicks to tomatoes, to rice and maize and so on, there is a very high level of dependence. But as the global economy is going to realign to the new reality with more self-reliance, Ghana cannot be left behind. We also have to look very, very closely at how we enhance domestic production and reduce dependence on imports for commodities that we can very easily produce here in Ghana. We also have to look very clearly at our foreign exchange regime. It's very clear that it is quite loose, and this is why we're going to be working to see how we can tighten the foreign exchange regime. And of course, I think that some of the details around some of these pillars I'm talking about when the president addresses the nation, hopefully by the end of the week, some of these details will be fleshed out in more specifics. But in broad terms, I think you cannot address the current economic crisis without addressing the fiscal and debt sustainability, without addressing the production side, without addressing the foreign exchange regime and what allows us to lose a lot of foreign exchange. But more importantly, if we are going to address this, this economy must be digitalized. And that is something we've started since 2017 in earnest, because no economy can really participate in the fourth industrial revolution without the digitalization of the economy.